House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
Hello, everybody. It must be Tuesday if I am dressed up and Liz and Gina are in their offices. Liz back on island, like, first of all. Oh, by the way, I ran into Liz and her husband, Uncle John, and I ran into her son, Chef Peter Duenas. Wonderful, wonderful thing coming because the outdoor chef is back. You can catch it on KUAM. It's on YouTube. So, Liz, congratulations to your family because what a wonderful thing that Pete's doing again for the community.
Oh, thank you. Everyone's been asking, when are you going to do it? So I didn't realize it's been 14 years since his last show. Boy, how time has gone by so quickly.
That
And
was
it,
an island institution, obviously.
yeah, yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
Thank you.
14 years.
Yeah, since he showed the last episode. So I think what he's thinking of doing is probably doing a little of the old and a little of the new somehow, just to say, hey, look at what happened then, and here's what's happening now. But the shows are great. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we are gathered here today because we are talking about speaking of guests and celebrity appearances. There is going to be several guests in your humble abode down there, ladies, over at Remax Diamond Realty, Guam and Hagåtña, because Gina, as I understand it, our friends at GHURA are going to pay you guys a visit and give you guys some really interesting training tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we're so grateful for the opportunity. Um, GURA has agreed to come down. So they launched a new program. It's called the Home Solutions under the Renewable Affordable Homes Program. And I had heard about it. They actually had training maybe a couple weeks ago at the GURA office. They invited some people to come down for the training. We didn't have the opportunity to join them. And so so we've contacted them and asked, can you come and train our agents? Because, obviously, this is what Liz and I have been promoting, the idea of finding a mechanism to help low and medium income families to be able to, get into home ownership. So this is a program that GURA is launching. And I think from what I understand, it's ever evolving. There are some changes that are going to happen. I also, and this is, I didn't know until I actually read this online that this program is for purchase and for build. And that's exciting, because we have a lot of local families that have land. And maybe, they're thinking, well, I can't afford an existing home. The existing home prices are beyond my means. So, number one, this is a loan program that is designed to bring down the monthly mortgage payment. You're going to qualify for the loan at a regular financing institution, but the way that GURA is going to merge it is they're going to back a portion of that loan at a reduced interest rate. And essentially what that does is it brings down the monthly payment. So if you can bring down the monthly payment, it should bring up the amount that you can qualify for.
Right. And Liz, I'm just highlighting this part right now here, Liz. Obviously it says for people who meet the program criteria, right? For those that actually qualify, deferred and 3% amortized loans. That's actually very, very generous. And plus, as Gina just said, if it's for people that either want to buy or build, there's a lot of flexibility there, I would think.
That's right. But the exciting part, the 3% is a eye catcher because the interest rates right now are anywhere from 5.7 to 6 point something, depending on whether it's adjustable. But the 3% interest rates, I mean, that was like years ago when it was available, and the banks were backed up with loan applications. So
what was it during COVID? COVID went to almost 2, right?
Yeah, I got one loan at one time for 2.5.
Yeah.
So it is exciting to see that is coming up. The thing about it too is inventory, of course, is critical, but there's always a step. This is a step in the right direction and a solution to make things work. And if the monthly payments are less, of course, that will spur more activity.
Okay, now because this is a first-time home buyer program, Gina, I'm sure that's going to also include like a lot of young married couples, maybe some young Guamanians just like right out of college, and this is their first foray into the home ownership journey and everything. So it's not just, I mean, it's not just purely for people on the lower side of the tax bracket and everything like that. You're going to get a wide range of applicants, I would think.
Oh, absolutely. There. So if you look at this worksheet, and it's online, you could go to the GURA. You could actually just type in GURA home solution program, and it'll come up. But it gives you the income bracket, so you could take a look at it, and know whether or not, at least based on income, you qualify. Please also remember that when they verify income, they're looking. It's like any typical bank. They're going to look that you have 2 years of tax returns, 2 years of employment history. You have to qualify at a regular lender. GURA is going to be subsidizing not the entire loan, but a portion of the loan. But it still is going to reduce your monthly payment. And that's the critical part about all this. So they do have their criteria. And yes, you're going to have a very broad spectrum of people, young people, older people. The other criteria is you have to be a first-time home buyer, but there's also, in the guidelines, it says that it doesn't necessarily mean that if you've owned a home at least 3 years before and you've sold it or deeded it to your children, maybe, but if you have not owned a home in the last 3 years, then you qualify.
Yeah, I found that really, really interesting. So, I mean, technically, first-time home buyer is kind of a misnomer because it's like first time or first time it's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah, and
a while is 3.
and the verbiage is specifically defined as not owning a home for the last 3 years from the date of application. So you're going to get a lot of people. The potential audience for this is very, very broad.
Yes, but the critical part about this is you're going to have to go through a bank. You have to have certain requirements, 2 years of employment, 2 years tax return to prove your income, and then your credit score. Also, they show their credit score at 640. So there are still requirements to qualify for this loan, but it's good to get started. And of course, with any loan process, there is still some out of money expenses associated with the loan. And we always tell our clients and customers, start saving money, start putting stuff aside, and get the information that you need regarding the program, and at least be ready, get ready.
Okay, so just to diverge for a second, Liz, because we always say, I mean, it's good personal financial advice anyway to have a savings account as well as a checking account. Save your money, put stuff away. Everybody says by traditional theory of economics and everything like that, you should have like some money in the bank, some in savings, a little bit in the stock market, but the ultimate goal is so that you would invest in real estate. Here on Guam, like most people, if you're local, are connected to someone with property or have property themselves and everything. Do you see people getting into the real estate side of investing before they start, buying mutual bonds and individual securities?
I think people basically, number one, they start to save. They start to eye the market. They would call Gina or myself and say, hey, they always want to buy. And they're asking, well, what is it going to take, whether they're buying land or whether they're going to buy a home? So Gina and I will pretty much counsel and say, hey, this is what you're going to need. And even if you don't have monies for a down payment, sometimes family members will be able to assist, such as a gift from your parents or your godmother, your fairy godmother. If you need to buy something and you need a down payment, there's always family, at least from what we have seen, family that usually will help with a down payment. And again, as far as a trend, it's always about either buying land to build or buying a home. So the key is you still have to have money up front, out of pocket, for down payments, and then you still have to go through the loan process.
Which
So
now
I think
dovetailed back into our topic because this is perfect with this first-time homebuyer program.
that's right. So as far as investments, when you're dealing with this income bracket, they're not looking at stocks or bonds. They're looking at, okay, what will make me stable? What's the stability? How do I become stable with my family, and that's basically about either buying land or a house.
Gina, what do you anticipate when our friends at GURA visit you guys tomorrow and run through like the training? What that isn't already on this document are you guys going to discuss and maybe, toss back and forth about what discussions you can anticipate to have with your clients?
Well, that was exactly the reason we invited them. We want to learn as much as we can. We want to be able to, we want to be helpful as real estate agents so that the customers who really need the help the most, the people looking for a roof over their head, for affordable housing, because rents right now, it's almost, it's almost the amount of a mortgage payment. And so we're trying to transition the people who have a little bit of a savings. They've been working consistently. They're working hard. And they're like, man, we're getting priced out. And I know there's a concern about inventory. In fact, when I was talking to Gura about this, that's one of the hardships that they're faced with. Now they found the program and, they're talking about inventory, but I think it's really important to have the mechanism, the means for you to be able to purchase, because I feel like if the mechanism is there, if you have something that you could pre-qualify for in advance and get yourself ready in advance, and then maybe the realtor community could go out there and talk to developers and talk to the government sector and say, okay, it's very difficult for the private developer community to be able to build affordable housing without some kind of help from the government of Guam. There has to be some kind of partnership because I know the numbers. Liz has built, I've built. And even if you want to help families, you cannot afford to be a developer and just do it at cost. And when you do it at cost, it's still not even affordable. I can tell you that for a fact. It's still not even affordable. There has to be some kind of public private joint venture where the government invests its monies into its citizens by investing into infrastructure and encouraging or enticing or whatever it is you need to do with the developers. Find a way to get them to build affordable units because you're going to have a lot of people sitting in the background who've qualified for this loan through GURA and through a private lending institution who can then say, okay, I'm lining up. I'm willing to take one of those. And that's exactly what we're looking for.
Okay, there is one part, ladies, I'd like to discuss with you guys because it says citizenship and residency, right? You have to be reading off the document now. You have to be a United States citizen, United States national, or qualified alien to be eligible to receive federal public benefits. Does this mean like if you were just naturalized last week, you're automatically like qualified? That's part of the benefits of citizenship, right?
Well, I think if you've been living on Guam for 5 years, because it does specifically state living on Guam for 5 years, that's the minimum period of time. Now, if you're here only 3 years, then you definitely would not qualify.
So it's a little longer than if you want to establish, like do what a lot of Guamanians do is they relocate to the States so their kid can get California residency and then get a discount on tuition when they go to USC or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But again, this program is definitely going to help our community. And, we've been talking about the government providing some incentives. I mean, there are programs out there where the federal government allows for this, where they take part in funding the infrastructure, a percentage of the infrastructure to allow the developer to build. So I think there's so much attention to this and such a shortage that I think it's just a matter of time now. And, we've been talking to the legislature about how are we going to make things happen in this area. So I think they're really looking at it and trying to figure out funding sources. In fact, one senator brought up tapping from a specific source, and we said, no, we're trying to reduce that particular tax, for the community. And let's start looking at something else that would work. So I do know that the senators are looking at how they can help make this happen.
Okay. Is anybody else going to be there at your office, Gina? Because you guys have the greatest coffee machine in the world. I've been there You guys have like a next generation Keurig. My mom would be so jealous. But in addition to GHURA, is there going to be anybody else either from the public or private sector that's going to be part of that dialogue?
Just all the wonderful Remax agents that are going to be here to learn so they can offer their service to the community.
So full house tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yes. I think once our agents are trained and they learn all about the program, the ins and outs of the program, and then we can turn around and assist the community in taking advantage of the program.
Yeah. So now at what point, if you have a curious potential applicant, do they go to GHURA or do they go to you or do they go to the bank, and how do they know who they have to talk to?
They could do all three. They can call us for more information. Liz and I are always happy to give out information. Honestly, we are. They can contact because they actually have to qualify at a lending institution. GHURA is not funding the entirety of this amount, only 30%. That's how it stands right now. That could change. I'm hearing rumors that they may want to change the program, but right now you need to go to a finance institution, a regular bank, a lender who does mortgage loans, get pre-qualified, and then and that's part of what we're going to find out from GHURA tomorrow. Can we then can a realtor then connect them to the GHURA program, and what's the mechanism to get them started? What we want to do is get the buyers ready so when they see something, they know exactly what to do. Because in the lower price range on the homes, you got to be ready. You can't see it, like it, and then okay, let's take a couple of weeks to get ourselves situated. It's not going to happen. You're not going to be successful if that's how you want to put it together. We want you ready, and then that way, when you find a home, you can call your realtor. Okay, I'm ready. The program's set. I've got my documents in a row. Let's go look. Let's write it up. Let's be prepared.
So in summary, this is just the local government really coming in, giving you a hand, giving you more options, and hopefully broadening the community of people that would be able to finally like afford a home, whether they want to buy or whether they want to build, right?
That's right. And again, it's the first step in trying to help our community with affordable housing, and a loan with 3% interest. Where can you find that?
Yeah, jump at that opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. 3% does not happen often, even under very, very extreme situations. That's incredibly generous of the government.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay, so I would love to catch up with you guys and see how your how this training thing worked out. I know we've got a couple guests that we're talking about maybe bringing on. One thing that I did know before we go, ladies, is the whole thing about like credit score. I get the occasional message sometimes, and people say, "Can you and Liz and Gina talk about exactly what sends your credit score up to your benefit, or what can even bring it down? Like if you bounced a check, if you were late on a payment, everything like that." So we'll see if we can bring in someone from one of the lending institutions and talk about like that volatility.
That'll be
Great
good.
idea.
That'll be a good topic.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
I know a banker or two.
yeah, and credit scores are important because that will dictate whether you can get the loan or not, whether you can move forward with your loan or you'll be rejected.
Okay, real
depending
quick.
on
Yeah, the requirement for this thing before we go, because now I'm so fascinated in this 30-year loan at 3% again. That's amazing. That's crazy almost. You have to have a credit score of at least 640. Liz, if you are a 23, 24-year-old newly married couple, both have college degrees, but they don't have a ton of money in the bank and everything, how realistic is having a 640?
I mean, your credit scores are based on, let's say, and we've seen this happen where people are renting, but they don't have a credit card, they don't have any records that they could go back to. So we've been advising people get a credit card and start small, but you've got to make sure you start to pay that credit card on time, because if you're late one or two or three payments, it'll flag it on your credit score and then that will drop it. So the more you are on time and whatever you've purchased, again, the critical part is paying those payments on time so your credit score starts to go up. Now, if you start to buy too many things on a credit card, then it starts to drop, or you cancel a credit card, it will affect your credit score.
Come on, people. How many pairs of jeans do you need? Even if they are the really, really nice Calvin Klein ones, right? Gina, you're a jeans person, right?
But yeah, jeans and t-shirts. That's all you'll catch me in on the weekends. But Jason, it's not unheard of. My husband and I bought our first condo when we were 21, so it is not unheard of.
Yep.
And if you're anything like us at that point, we I don't remember if we had bad credit. Maybe we had bad credit at 21, or was it no credit? Either way, that's bad. So we ended up at that time, we ended up doing owner financing. But you could get clever and figure out a way to make it work. In this market, owner financing is really unheard of these days because it's easy to sell property. Back then, we bought something that was not easy to sell. The seller couldn't get rid of it at that point. So we were able to convince them, hey, take a chance on us, give us a year. We've already been to the bank and they won't give us crap because we don't qualify for anything. But if you give us a year, we'll figure it out. And the seller gave us a year. And within a year, we figured it out, Jason. Not only did we figure it out, we figured it out so well that we were able to do that year after year. And that
See
was
that?
21.
International Women's Month, you guys. Girl power.
Well, I have to give credit to my husband too. It wasn't just me. It was
And to Leonard.
a pair of us. He's the disciplined one when it comes to the pocketbook. So
we'll see everybody.
It's all about saving money.
There you go.
Tighten the belt and save the monies.
And the real estate pipeline, of which we are a definite part in everything. We're all here to help you with information or hopefully with guidance. And Liz and Gina and their colleagues down there at RE/MAX are definitely more than happy to assist you in any way you go. So, okay, so we're going to work on getting a banker on the show. And ladies, have a wonderful time with our friends at GHURA tomorrow. Tell those guys I said hi.
Hey, come and film. Oh,
there does, because you got the good coffee machine. Okay, I'll swing by. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
House to Home, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.